Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Sam, or Xstraws, and today I wanted to make a commentary talking about my opinions on Ghost and why I am not a huge fan of it in Call of Duty Black Ops. But before I get into that, I want to quickly say that if you're out there and you're somebody who uses Ghost and enjoys using the perk Ghost, I just want to say that although me and you may not see eye to eye on the perk, I hope that you can at least respect my opinion and understand where I'm coming from. And also, if you still don't respect my opinion or understand where I'm coming from, if you disagree with me, just leave a comment and let me know why. Don't just dislike the video, leave a mean comment, and then leave. Let me know why you feel the way you do about the perk, and you use the comment section as an open forum for me to talk to you and you to talk to me. So hopefully we can all be civilized about disagreements on certain issues and move on from there. So anyway, as you can probably tell by the way I started out this video, I'm not a huge fan of the Ghost perk in Call of Duty Black Ops. And it's not that it has necessarily changed fundamentally from what it's been in the previous games. You know, UAV Jammer, Call of Duty 4, I think it was Camouflage in World at War, and Cold-Blooded in Modern Warfare 2. But the fact that it's become so much more prevalent in public matches in Call of Duty Black Ops, excuse me, but you know, that's what's made it so annoying for me in this game. So let me talk a little bit about why a lot more people are using it in this game, and then I'll talk a little bit about why I don't like it so much and my opinions on it. So why people are using it not that much, it's kind of simple actually. Stopping Power and Juggernaut aren't in this game. There are no perks that will directly affect each and every single one of your gunfights that people now have to choose between when, you know, picking their Ghost perk, because, you know, it's not in the game anymore. And they also moved the Ghost perk into the first tier slot. Now, in my opinion, I think I just said slot. I meant to say slot, excuse me. So in the first tier slot, you got your choices between Ghost, Hardline, what else? Scavenger, some of the things that aren't going to actually affect each and every gunfight. So people know that they can pick Ghost and not have to suffer in each gunfight or each, you know, encounter that they have on this game. Meanwhile, if they you know, had to, you know, choose between Stopping Power, Juggernaut, and then Ghost, or whatever, you know, UAV Jammer, whatever the case may be, then they're going to be like, well, you know, that UAV Jammer might help, or that yeah, whatever, UAV Jammer might help me, but you know, it's only going to help me if they have, you know, a UAV up in the air, or if they have air support and all that. So people question it a lot more because they have the ability to have something that will help them 100% of the time. And now that, you know, the first tier slot isn't going to help you all the time, you know, Scavenger, you won't always use all your bullets. Hardline, you won't always get to your kill streaks. Ghost, you won't always be facing somebody with a UAV or air support up in the air. People are thinking to themselves, well, if they're not ever, or if there's not a perk in this slot that is always going to help me, then I might as well go with Ghost, the most effective out of the group, I guess you could say. A lot of people see it as the most effective one. So the second tier slot is the one that I would say has, you know, all the help for the gunfights. You know, you got steady aim, which will help you with hip fire with SMGs. It's really beneficial on SMGs. You got Sleight of Hand Pro, which helps you out a ton when, you know, the decreased aim down sight comes into play with your gunfights. So those sort of things are reserved for the second tier slot. So that's why a lot more people are using Ghost in their first tier slot. So let's talk about now why I'm not such a big fan of Ghost in Call of Duty Black Ops. So actually, why I'm not a big, I shouldn't say Call of Duty Black Ops specifically, this is why I've never liked Ghost, but up until now hasn't been that much of a problem. I've always sort of had this thought in the back of my mind that, you know, this is pretty annoying, but hey, at least not, you know, 50% of the community is using it, or now with Ghost, like 75% of the community is using it. So my opinion on Ghost is that I do view it as a death streak, and the only reasonable death streak at that. I'm not going to say that it's as bad as Painkiller. It's definitely not. It's not as bad as Final Stand or any of that stuff. I'm just saying it's sort of like a death streak. So let me explain, because when I said this on Twitter, people got really annoyed at me. So the way I see it is 90% of the time when Ghost is going to be effective is when you or your teammates die. So when your teammates are dying and the enemy is able to get UAVs and all different types of air support, chopper gunners and all that kind of stuff, Ghost is going to be extremely important. So let's talk about chopper gunners first. You're not going to be seen on chopper gunners and all that if you have Ghost Pro, so that's obviously going to be effective. There's no real explaining to that. But when you talk about UAVs, now you've got, you know, this weird dynamic where not only are you not going to be seen on UAVs, but then you're going to have people around you who are being seen on the UAVs. So let me go into that for a second. Let's say I'm gonna, you know, I'm up in this building here on Array, and I see that, you know, down the hall, around a corner, there's a guy on my UAV, not my Blackbird. Forget I have the Blackbird up now. So there's a guy on the UAV around a corner ahead of me, and I'm like, all right, I need to prepare for that gunfight. And I know that there's going to be a guy there, so I need to make sure that that I reload before I get to that point. Maybe I'm going to start reloading right now, but in between that guy and me, there's another guy with Ghost on who I didn't know was there until he runs around this corner while I'm reloading, and then all of a sudden I'm caught off guard. And now if I had UAV and that guy hadn't had Ghost, I would have been like, alright, there's a guy here, I need to back up, reload, and then come forward and get this guy. But because I didn't see the guy, and because he had Ghost, then that guy's going to be able to kill me without me having really a chance to retaliate. So even though Ghost is just keeping you off the radar, it's actually helping you get kills in a lot of situations. So that's sort of why it kind of rubs me the wrong way, where I think to myself, hey, if I would have just known that guy was there, it would have been really easy to kill him. Because I feel that if you earn a UAV, then you earned the ability to see the enemy players. And when you cancel a kill streak, it's sort of like a death streak. Now, I know it's not the same definition of a death streak from previous games, but when you're able to negate somebody else's hard work, it's sort of like a really negative thing for the person who got the kill streak. Instead of it just being like an even playing field where no one has a UAV, like I said, what's happening is you see some people in the UAV, but not everyone, so it becomes really, I guess, sketchy. So what I'm getting at here, guys, is that it basically causes people to play a lot more defensive if you'd like to counter it. I know there's going to be a ton of people who comment and say, listen, if you have a UAV, you can't just rush and try and find people and take the UAV at its word. Basically, think that, if there's not going to be a guy around the corner if there's no UAV dot there. Because now, with Ghost being so prevalent, now you're going to need to check every single corner. You can't non-stop rush. You can't be so aggressive. So then, we get to the point where it's like, it's going to cause more defensive play, which is going to cause more camping, all that kind of stuff, which is really what I don't like about Ghost. So although you may not agree with me about Ghost, as I mentioned before, I hope you can respect at least where I'm coming from. I don't like Ghost because of any other reason other than the fact that it creates more defensive gameplay, or at least it makes defensive gameplay more effective, because it's more difficult to confidently rush knowing that there might be a guy around any given corner that you can't see on your UAV. So if you guys, don't agree with me with anything else, hopefully you can at least, understand that I'm saying all this and I don't like Ghost because of the fact that I don't like camping. So with that said, I want to leave you guys with this. If there's anyone out there who has a recommendation to how, Treyarch could fix this, a counter to how, Ghost, make it so that basically Ghost only helps you if you're rushing, if you're, running into people. Now, Wings of Redemption said something along the lines of, if you're within 20 feet of somebody, then you're invisible. But if you're like, 20 feet away or more with Ghost on, then you're still on the radar. That way, if you're rushing and you're constantly near the enemies, you won't be on the radar. So if you think you have a better idea than that for how to make Ghost only effective for people who are playing aggressively and rushing, then please leave a comment and let me know, because in the end, I just want to stop camping, and I think that would be pretty awesome if we could do that, and also leave the Ghost perk in the game, because it's a great idea for a perk. It's just a little flawed. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please do me a favor and give the video a like if you liked it, and remember to leave a comment in the comment section below.